Flosstube. My name is Becca, and I'm SamBrie Stitches here on Flosstube and Instagram. And this is another special edition of Interview with a Flosstuber. And today I have a couple of special guests. I'm super excited. I have Cassandra and Aaron from Autumn Lane Stitchery. They are hilarious. If you've not checked out their videos, I absolutely love them, and they're super talented. Cassandra stitches and Aaron designs. So we're going to learn a little bit more about them. So how are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
After that intro,
yeah, we're doing
amazing.
You guys are awesome. Come on now.
We are excited to be here.
We are. It's our first time doing this.
Yeah, so thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. You guys are a couple of my favorite Flosstubers, so I was super excited when you said yes.
What can we do to make us your favorites?
Yeah.
Your very favorites.
You two actually remind me of me and my husband a lot.
Yes.
Even though he won't get into the videos with me, but just like the chemistry and how you guys banter back and forth and all that, that's totally me and my husband.
So you guys, like, you want to murder him, like, constantly then?
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And
I mean, sounds like an awesome dude already, so.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm also a fabric hoarder, which so are you.
Yes!
Mine's Ada, so I'm an Ada stitcher, but we're still fabric hoarders.
Ada's, it just, it dyes. I think out of all the fabric, Ada dyes the best. I like Ada's. I love it. Anyways, I'll shut up about that.
So that is why.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
All right, so we're going to jump into the questions. And the first question is, why did you start a Flosstube, and were there any particular motivations?
You go ahead.
So there was a couple different motivations. One, we just love the community. We do videos all the time for other business, so it just kind of is natural for us to kind of be recording or doing live videos. So we thought that would be best to kind of be a part of the community. It's kind of a seamless transition.
I figured you were gonna have like your Coke or something. So
always.
I've got my Dr. Pepper. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So also, obviously, we're cross-stitch dezigner's, so just the videos work good for, spreading the word about our patterns and kind of just engaging with the community as well. So that was.
And we've been around for, I think, a lot longer than anybody realizes. Aaron's been designing for a couple of years. We just haven't been
since 2016.
I'm very it doesn't seem that way, but I'm not aggressive. I don't like to pounce on people. So like one of my friends has like a Halloween cross stitching group where people post their projects. Well, I think the first project he ever did was a pumpkins pattern, and I was like, I wouldn't even post it in there. I didn't want to be like aggressive and like overstep my bounds. So we've been doing it for actually a while, but it
creeping
hasn't,
on the sidelines.
Yeah, creeping up on the sidelines. Haven't really been aggressive. 4 years
since 2016. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it hasn't been until recently that it really has. We have actually gotten a name for ourselves because again, we weren't really aggressive about it, and so Flosstube has been huge in helping us get our name out there.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know you guys, we're going to just segue a little bit into the magazine because you guys just showed that. So I was just excited. That ornament, because I'm a big snowman person, is awesome. So I'm excited. I actually didn't want to wait another week to get the physical copy. So I bought it.
So you're already gratification,
people.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Well, thank you. We're pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how, we don't want to say too much, but yeah.
It's pretty cool.
We love that, and we love any more that may
we
or
love
may
when
not.
there's a series of that.
We love
may or may not come. All right. So the next question is a subscriber question, and it was just wondering if you had a blog.
So we do. So right now the website's down. Like it's under construction.
Yeah.
But we do have a blog, but obviously there's no website right now, so not technically right now.
Okay.
But we try. But I mean, in honest, like the Flosstube is going to take over kind of the blog.
Yeah.
Anyways, like even with her kind of doing little tutorials for like beginner stitchers,
Yep.
she will just do video.
Yeah.
So we'll still have a blog, but it'll be a lot of video on there, to be honest with you. And then
Are we really still going to have a blog?
we will. I'll still have it on there. People still like the blog. Do you have a blog?
I don't have a blog. I think it's a lot of work, and like I use Flosstube
Exactly.
to show like my finishes and everything. It's just I'm not a big typer person.
Well, and honestly, like it takes a long time to build up the blog.
Yep.
Like you got to be consistent for a long time for there to have an audience. Yeah. But people just like kind of interacting, in that sense too. Like as far as like reading and kind of seeing pictures of your life. Yeah. So, but yeah. So currently no. Long story.
Currently no, but when it's back up, there will be back blogs. Yeah. Posts, thingies.
Okay. All right. So everybody
maybe
keep an eye on it. So the next question is for Cassandra, how did you learn to stitch? And for Erin, what got you into designing?
Okay, so it's funny, I can't remember exactly my first experience. I do remember in 3rd grade, there was like a craft workshop that we could sign up. We could sign up 3 different crafts. And one was like a leather working craft. It was just like a day of crafting, whatever. I remember leather working, and then I signed up for, I think, crochet, and then I signed up for cross stitching, and it was a little barrette. And I remember that, but I also remember, and I don't remember which came first, but my older sister Melanie was a crafter, and she picked up cross stitching. And I remember motorhoming when I was little. And again, I don't remember the age there, but I remember motorhoming when I was little, and she had taught me also. So I don't remember which one came first, or even if there was like a couple of years difference there. But I actually have the project from the so cool. I was literally young, like I was the archives. I was probably around. It's not finished. I was probably around 3rd grade, but like this is actually the original, and it's these 2 little mice stitching. Like sewing a quilt.
Is that from like Cinderella? Looks like it.
It almost like they could be. Yeah. But yeah, there's one mouse.
Look at the back of that.
Look at the back. Look how neat my stitching was.
It looks like my stitching now, so it's okay. It's fun. My back's not clean.
Yeah, it's unfinished, and I still love this project. But yeah, it's fun. I have a picture of me in a motorhome stitching on a hoop.
That's so cool.
And I was probably like, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10.
That's cool. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I actually found it on eBay, a fresh version of it, because this is I can't like pick up where I left off. But it's fun to have this. Like,
it's definitely.
Almost 30 years since I worked on that. So, wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I can think of. One of those 2 experiences.
Even Erin's like, wow.
Wow, I know, right?
Dang.
Wow,
that is really cool.
Well, I'm 36, so I mean, if I was 8 or 9 or 10, whatever.
Not quite that long.
Not quite that long, but
close.
On there.
So as far as designing, I used to work at a video game company, and we did. Well, I mean, I'm an artist originally, and designing cross stitch is a lot like doing pixel art. Like on the computer, it's essentially the same thing. So it was a very seamless transition from being an artist. But like right before I designed, I was working there when I started designing, but I was at a video game company, and we were doing a lot of like contract work, and it was a lot of like pixel art type games. So at the time I was doing a lot of that, and then she was having me help her just like not fix certain things,
just
but
change a couple things.
Yeah, the faces and stuff.
So I would help her change stuff.
I like my cross-stitched women's faces to look hoochie.
Yeah, hoochie, if you will.
That need a full I don't like the natural look. I want them to be hooker-fied. Hooker-esque. Sure, yeah. So I would have them help me change, make their lips all plumped, and 18 sets of fake eyelashes, So I don't wear fake eyelashes. That's the one thing I don't do. But
She loves it in her cross.
I love it in my cross stitch. I like the exaggeration, and because he is kind of, he basically went to school to be comic art. Like, what's more exaggerated than comic book art women that are like, their waist is like 2 inches. Anyway, so he helped me fix, not fix faces, but change faces to, sorry.
No, you're fine. So I started doing that. So that's kind of how I kind of just transitioned into it. I started helping her with stuff that she needed, like adjusted or whatever. And then eventually, I don't remember how we started it, but we're just like, let's just start designing our own.
I don't remember if it was you or me where I was like, why don't you just design something for me? Design me something.
It didn't take a lot to push me because I was already doing kind of that kind of art, and I like doing pixel art, and it's kind of the same thing. So that's kind of how it we just rolled right into it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Neat. So the next one is, what is your favorite project that you've stitched and that you've designed?
Oh.
Okay, so this one was super hard for me, and I'll tell you
for a lot of people.
It is, because there will be projects I love stitching, and then when I'm done with it, I'm like, oh, like that, it's cool, but it's not my favorite. And then there will be other ones that I hate stitching, but then when it's done, it's amazing. And so it's like like this, I don't know. So like, and it depends on my mood. Like there was a Mirabilia I did that it was my everything. And I think I stitched it like 8 years ago, and I couldn't wait to get it framed. And I don't even like think twice about it now. Like I look at it now and I'm like, oh, that's really pretty, but it's not like amazing to me anymore. So I grabbed 2 projects just because.
Okay.
This is one of the ones that was just like an average stitch for me. This is actually Erin's, AKA Autumn Lane Stitchery. But this is one of the ones that I was like, during the stitching of it, it was just like no different than anything else. I wasn't just like blown away like, oh, this is so awesome. But when I finished it, I was like, this is one of my absolute favorite projects I've ever done. So this is the Curious Mermaid, which...
Why do you think that is?
Gorgeous.
Why do I think I love this one?
Yeah, why do you think you love it so much after it's done?
Because I love mermaids, and not
to put you on the spot, I'm just curious.
I don't know. I like it. I don't know.
Well, but, sometimes they just call to you. That's what it is, you know. And that frame that you picked, the frame, when you were showing the frames, that frame is perfect, and it makes it, good. You know, it makes it.
That's what I was going to ask, if the frame is part of the reason, because the frame is really.
I don't know.
I think it is for us, for the viewers. That frame makes it.
So, yeah, and then the other one that I hate stitching these, but and I haven't finished this yet. I love this project. I consistently want to come back to it, and it's just it's always on the back burner. Because it's so, like, almost at the end of the day, I'm just drained, and I want to just, like, mindlessly stitch.
Right.
And it's a chatelaine, and I love this pattern more than anything. It's the Hawaiian Garden, and I haven't touched it in probably now 2 years, but it consistently is the one that, like, calls to me that I want to stitch, and I just don't, because I want to mindless stitch, and with all the specialty stitches, I just can't pick it up. So there's the volcano.
That volcano's gorgeous.
But yeah, and then like the pineapples.
And this is just a small portion.
This is like a quarter of the pattern.
Are you stitching the pattern off of the paper pattern, or did you do a PDF? Because I know people PDF.
So what had happened was I bought the chatelaine, the print from 123 Stitch, because we live right by it. What I didn't realize is when you're buying the paper pattern, it's black and white.
Yeah.
And with chatelaines, you have like 20 colors of back stitching. So you don't have, like, it's fine with the symbols, but with the back stitching, you're like, there's 20 different colors, and it's one color in black and white. So what I ended up doing was then getting the PDF version.
Yep. Okay.
And I have to say is I am more likely to stitch the chatelaines in the parts. You know how she came out with parts at a time? When I get the whole thing, I'm so overwhelmed. So like, you know, one sale, I bought all of them, like 10 of them. And I don't think I'll ever stitch them because it's so overwhelming to me. But so those, yeah, I hate stitching them.
But the finished product.
But the finished project is so mind-blowing. Just all the different specialty stitches. And again, I'm no pro, but she makes it so easy in the parts, when she would come out with the parts of them, that it was like, oh yeah, I can do that, and I do it, and then I was like, holy crap, I just did that stitch. Like, nice. I'm totally self-taught here, like, so cool. So I guess not self-taught, I follow a pattern, but I love that one so much.
It's beautiful. It is.
Wish you'd let me stitch it. Jerk.
Sure, don't blame me. Like, I keep her from stitching stuff. It's such a joke.
He does. Okay, go ahead.
So get the geisha, if you would, real quick.
Get the geisha? Oh, yeah.
So I have two.
Okay.
So my favoriteest is the geisha that we just released, which she's going to grab that we can show that. But in the meantime, I really like this one. So I come from, like I said, when I was in video games and comic art, I'm more of like a character illustrator. So that kind of design, I guess, to put, for lack of a better term, is what speaks to me. I like doing characters. So a lot of the stuff we've done are like the silhouette things, or we do a lot of the monthly patterns, but doing these characters are kind of what I did already. Are what kind of I enjoy doing. So and plus, we're huge Christmas fanatics.
Huge Christmas fanatics.
In the Houston house. Yeah. So the fact that we don't have more Christmas patterns is a tragedy.
It is a tragedy.
But
maybe you should get on that, Aaron.
I know. I need to get on that. I'm trying. Yeah. Just cross-stitched August 2020.
Yeah, seriously.
There you go.
Oh,
but yeah, so we have a bunch that are kind of in progress, but I have one that is going to be coming out here in the next couple months that is going to be my very favorite by far.
Awesome.
The one we're working on now.
I don't know what one we're working on.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's kind of, I can't mention it. It's going to come out in a couple months.
Is this funny? The husband-wife non-communication?
Yeah,
he's like, oh,
like, what are you talking about?
On now. I have no clue. Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit, it's different, and it's going to be amazing.
It's real good.
So that's going to be my favorite, but for now, I know, right? I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Doing that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
This one for now, this is kind of the stuff that I love doing. The characters, they take a lot longer is the problem. So I don't want to spend like a month or 2 months working on one of these, and not have stuff coming out. So I do a lot of the simpler patterns, simpler for me because they just go a lot faster to do.
And also we're constantly harassing him. Like, when are you putting out a pattern?
I see all the comments.
Yeah, it's like he's got to do a small one that takes him no time at all, because that takes him like 2 months to do.
Right, which is understandable because you want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a perfectionist, unfortunately. Stuff still gets through. Oh man. Anyway, so that's my favorite one as of now. My very favorite.
Yeah, she's beautiful. So we're gonna move on to what is your favorite genre of book or movie?
Yes.
We're kind of the same on this one.
Yes.
For the most part.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Well, my favorite, so I have an English degree. I love Victorian period.
Except for that.
And though I'm a huge fantasy, I love fantasy.
There you go.
I love fantasy.
We're the same. We're both big fantasy nerds. And action.
Yes, and movie.
Yeah. As far as books go, it's more fantasy.
Yeah, gratuitous amounts of violence and action, and The Rock jumping from a skyscraper, and like Jason Momoa, like gratuitous amounts of like backward sexy looks, just like bad.
I'm right there with you.
Right, like if like it's nominated for Academy Award, I probably am gonna hate it. Because they're all about, it makes you think, and
forget that noise.
No,
yeah.
If I want to think, I'll read a book and sit there and analyze the book. I just want violence and action and explosions.
Robots fighting.
Yep. Cars turning into robots who are fighting. The Rock just doing stupid things that no human could possibly ever do.
Did you mention Jason Momoa turning around?
Yeah. Well, because I just forgot that, because remember in, what's that movie? Aquaman?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like, wow, how many times does he need to like
He's
have his
constantly-
back like
Yep.
constantly doing the smolder behind him? Like, it's not that I even really have a thing for Jason Momoa, but
No,
like
not at all.
just stupid movies that have a gratuitous amount of action. And
That's funny.
My husband and I are actually binge watching a Jason Momoa show on Netflix.
one.
Is it the Frontier or whatever it
Yeah,
is?
I think it's
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, where they're the fur traders and stuff like that. Yeah. So every Sunday night we watch a couple of those.
How do you like it?
It's pretty good. It really is.
So I keep wanting to start that, but I'm hesitant to start it because I think it's done because he's now doing the show on Apple TV.
Yeah.
That
See?
Eyes
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's called See.
So
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know if it's like a final conclusion to whatever season they finished, or if it's just like, I moved on to Apple TV. So I hate starting a show and then there's no like solid ending. It drives me nuts. I hate starting.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we just started from the beginning, and I think we're on season 3 right now. But it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that. I didn't know there was that many seasons. There's 3 seasons. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good show.
Yeah, we're on season 3. I don't know if there's more. I haven't looked ahead, but
Okay. Awesome.
So the next question this kind of leads into is, what fictional place would you most like to go?
Say.
What
was
was
his
that?
name,
Oh, Jamie.
Lannister.
No,
Game of Thrones?
no. Yeah, not Game of Thrones for real.
No.
How about Jamie Fraser's bed from Outlander?
Yeah. Oh, not the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot. It's not that kind of show. So sorry. Sorry. I will say the Shire from Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
That'd be amazing.
And I know it's like you can go there.
2 totally different places.
Yeah,
but
I know you
equally
can
fun.
go there now, but I want to be there like with hobbits. I don't want to go there and be like, oh, this is where they filmed the movie. I want to be there with hobbits.
Yeah.
They're my peeps, man. So I'd say the Shire from Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit. Same thing.
I would also like to go to Jamie Fraser's bed.
Ew!
I'm just kidding.
Very popular today.
He got so mad for obvious reasons.
I would like to go to Hogwarts.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hogwarts would be my place to go.
That's
Ooh,
a popular answer too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a popular.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah. It would be amazing.
Dude, that's real good though.
The Shire is amazing too.
That's really good.
I think they're all good choices. Even Jamie Fraser's bed was good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a decent choice.
Yeah. That's
Probably
choice.
3rd on the list, but whatever.
All right. So if you guys could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be?
Did we even?
So we were talking about this. Is it stuff that like we can actually do, or is it just like if you could do whatever you want?
Yeah, if you could do whatever you want.
We were talking about it, and
remember
she
what
was
I said.
saying she would like to paint,
No.
but you don't have the skills. That's what you said.
No, but that was just like using it as like a
No.
yeah, that was just like a random. I
Oh.
just use that as an example
Because you can't paint, but
because I
you'd like
can't
to.
paint, but like something like that. But no, that's not my final answer.
No.
That's not my final answer here.
What's your final answer?
If I could do anything
Do
for a
anything.
day, you go first.
And not
Tag
Jamie
your-
Fraser.
I know, right? Yeah,
Sorry.
Wasn't it
Is this
Superman in the
after
video?
hours?
Not Superman either.
Aaron,
I'm so sorry.
come on, Aaron.
Is that okay to say here? I'm sorry.
Aaron, this is a family-friendly show.
Sorry.
If I
Very
could
much.
do anything for a day, you go first. I don't know. Go.
I mean,
Have a day off? No, I'm just kidding. I'd love to have a day off. No, go ahead.
Just like a
Probably-
downtime Zen day.
Right.
we really like the mountains, and I
Mm.
really like the lake. So just going to a lake that's in the mountains and doing like wakeboarding and just kind of, you know, boating, that kind of thing. I'm really into that. So that's a nice relaxing day. Topped off with a nice bowl of ice cream and some drawing would be amazing.
That sounds like Cassandra's day off, just a nice Zen day to spend together.
Right?
I know.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm like trying to think of like something, I don't know, something amazing. We keep using that line.
What? Like,
I don't know, like having a day where I just got to, Erin hates this. We love to travel, not that we really ever travel, but like, we love seeing new places, but I also love to like visit like little quaint towns that are like just like so cool. Anyways, he hates it though because I want to sit and shop in each store in the small towns, whatever,
for hours.
So I don't know if my favorite, I mean, it like is a mixture of literally just like being maybe in the mountains, cross stitching and reading,
traveling
to my heart's content, to maybe like going on an Alaskan cruise and seeing like a cool adventure or seeing a cool glacier, or I don't know.
That's a good answer. I mean, everything that you guys have said is great.
What would you want to do?
Oh, put me on the spot.
Yeah. Have you thought about it? You've asked a bunch of people about this.
I haven't really thought about it, but well, my husband and I talk, and I think just traveling, because we've never traveled. He has before we were married. You know, he was in the Marine Corps and he got to go all over the world, basically. And I think that's what I would do. It wouldn't be just for the day, but just travel somewhere. Never.
Well, we appreciate his service very much.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
How long has it been since he's been in the service?
He retired 11 years ago, I want to say.
Wow.
So he did his 20 years. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, traveling, I think.
I changed my answer.
What?
Like Sebastian from The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
He said that we as humans look at each other and stare at each other all day.
You want to stare at each other?
I just want to stare at you all day.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Get out of here.
Okay, stop staring at me.
Sorry, I don't even know where that came from.
Okay. So do you guys have any other hobbies besides stitching and designing?
I love to read, but never get to. I like to do other crafts. I'm very crafty. I just like just a bunch of random, like we have, this is why it's amazing being married to an artist. So we have a local store that is like, you buy wooden letters and you can paint them and like Mod Podge paper on them, whatever. So one of them says Grinch. It's a holiday one. It says Grinch. So like I painted them and then Mod Podged really cool, like, paper on them. But the eye is him. So it's amazing being married to an artist because he was able to paint the Grinch's face exactly.
So cool.
Exactly. So that's always nice. I have an artist on demand for me.
Somewhat.
Pretty lucky there.
Yeah. So I like doing that. It's like motorhoming a hobby. Like, is camping like a hobby? We just love, as you can tell, we love nature and we live in a perfect spot for it. We love going, we actually are going camping this weekend. Finally.
Awesome. I'm so jealous.
So, yes, so we have, an older motorhome, but we will go up there and I'll just cross stitch up in the mountains and he will
take care of everybody.
And the dogs while they're freaked out.
Sounds good.
As far as I'm concerned, drawing, I hate to say drawing because designing is kind of drawing, but I just enjoy drawing. So whether it's designing for cross stitch or just like drawing comics or whatever it may be, but besides like designing and drawing, basketball, I guess, is the first thing that comes to mind. Comic books, obviously, video games I love, but I play a lot of basketball, which is a lot of fun. So that's for me.
Yeah.
All right. So how would your friends describe you both?
We were talking about this before. Luckily, she's not my friend, so I don't have to worry about Oh, that's amazing.
So, okay, so we had a hard one with this because I was like thinking about it. I know a lot of people love to like have girls' night out. It's like as soon as I met him, I had no desire to like hang out with anybody. So like, is that terrible that like
Yes.
I haven't had a girls' night and I don't know how long. If I go out and do something, it's going to be with him or our family because I don't have a big strong desire to go hang out with a bunch of my friends. It's so terrible, but like, I mean, I have a lot of friends online, and yes, I have friends here, and so I guess like my friends that I don't go hang out
Or
with,
people you would know. What
Yeah.
would they say about you?
probably funny and like sarcastic.
I feel like that's a stretch, but
Wow. What about you, Aaron? I actually hung out with his friend.
yeah. So one of my buddies, she actually went to the movies with him.
I did.
While I stayed at home.
Me and his
So-
friend had a date night because he hates Star Wars and I love it. And he had 2 tickets and didn't want to go by himself. And so I was
she has
like,
friends.
Aaron's like, well, you go with him. And I was like, you wouldn't be weirded out? He's like, no. I was like, okay, cool. So I went and hung out with his friend. So that was fun.
So like you said, I actually was like had a job, so friends, acquaintances, they would say I'm very sarcastic.
Yeah. And just
Very
fun.
sarcastic.
Probably fun.
Hard to tell
You're fun.
when I'm being genuine I guess is what a lot of them would say, but
He likes to prank people. He's like a 12-year-old boy. It's so.
She hates it. He hates it so bad when I'll like scare, like, you know, pop her out and scare her or something like that.
It's
drives me
so
nuts.
stupid. I hate it so bad.
And it's fun until it like makes my whole day miserable.
Because I get so pissed off.
That 5 seconds of, yeah, that little bit of entertainment is not worth the rest of the day being ruined. So
Well, at least you might have like learned from past events and
yeah.
stopped
Oh
doing
yeah.
it.
Took a while.
No, he
but
hasn't.
finally- oh.
No,
No?
he hasn't.
Oh,
That's
dang, I tried to lie, but
No.
guess not.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from that.
Yes.
So Cassandra, how do you prefer to stitch? And then for Aaron, how do you design? Like, what's your process?
I like to design, since I'm the designer. No, I like to cross stitch with a Q-snap.
Okay.
And I have to have a frame. I have to have either a lap stand or a floor stand. And then I used to have a magnifier, but it seems to be that like a magnifier light, but it's like every time I try to get a new one, like my one that I love broke and I can't find another one that's like high enough that lets me have it exactly where it needs to be. So I just have a light. I just need a light because I'm like cross stitching the dungeon over here. So yeah, so that's it. Q-snap, frame or stand, and yeah, a light
And a Diet Coke.
and a Diet Coke.
Yep.
Very
Make you
important.
happy.
Is that what you meant by that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, cool.
So I used to draw traditional, obviously growing up. There wasn't all the digital stuff now, but now as far as designing goes, I'll either start it, I have an iPad Pro, so I'll start it in like Procreate, which is a drawing program,
Yep.
or Clip Studio Paint. Those are my kind of two. Lately I've been doing Affinity products, was like Affinity Designer or Affinity Photo. I'll start it in there because I can start it in bed or be sitting where I want. Or, I mean, on the PC, I have a Cintiq as well, so I'll kind of just start it in Photoshop. I have a bunch of different places I'll like do the sketch, and then I'll bring it into PC Stitch where I'll kind of finish off the design.
Yeah.
Does that make
Very
sense? I can go like
Yeah.
really into the process, but I don't know how like
No,
involved.
you're
I'll
good.
be.
It's just, I knew because you've shown your iPad before. I just didn't know
Just
if you
trying to-
always did it on your iPad. I'm all congested. Hold on.
So yeah, so I don't always do it on the iPad. I do it on the computer a lot. I mean, I kind of switch back and forth. That's why it's like a kind of a seamless process now with like Dropbox and cloud storage.
Yeah.
I can start it on the computer, pull it up on my iPad or vice versa, and kind of just work wherever I want, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
love
kinda
the
how
new
I do it.
technology. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing. The iPad Pro is my favoriteest thing in the world.
That's what I'm using right now for my notes and everything.
Are ya?
Yes.
Yeah,
I work
nice.
for Apple, so I have a bunch of Apple products. So I love my iPad.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to talk to you afterwards.
Yeah. We'll talk after.
Yeah, talk after.
So the next question is, what is your favorite place that you've traveled, and did you design and stitch when you were there?
I love that you're including the design in these questions.
Yeah, because it's both of you.
Well, because you're the most important person again.
Makes me feel included.
Like I'm just another stitcher.
My little fragile ego is very grateful. Okay, go ahead.
You go first. Men first.
My favorite place I've traveled, so we sell LuLaRoe, and if you do a certain amount, they kind of pay for you to go on a cruise. Okay. So the last few years, we've been fortunate enough to go on a cruise with them. So it's not necessarily destination, but just going on the cruise is my favoriteest thing ever.
Well, and we like doing, it's usually to the Caribbean, and we like just seeing. We're kind of the dorks. Like, we are thrill seekers, which is funny. Like, we've both gone skydiving and all this stuff, but it's interesting. Like Aruba.
Jamaica.
Ooh, I want to take you to
Bahamas. No, did I get it wrong?
Bermuda.
Dang it.
Then Bahamas. So we just like, yeah, he like, when you go on the cruise, you go to a port and you can sign up to wake surf or do whatever. And we were total nerds and just wanted to take a tour of the island just to see the island, which I had no clue. Aruba is a total desert.
Yeah.
It's like we're in Las Vegas. It was insane. Who knew in the Caribbean? I had no clue.
You get the beach and like the nice area,
and then
then the rest is just it's just a desert.
It's just
where
like
people live.
Yeah.
So it's just fun to see that kind of thing. So and we've been to a bunch of different places now. So it's
in the Caribbean.
I don't have really a favorite one, but yeah, just kind of going on the cruise and doing that kind of thing is my favorite thing to do. What about you?
And I'm kind of the same. Like
I did take my designing with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I take the iPad Pro and draw and like sketch new designs.
Yeah.
There's not really a good mobile design program, but when that happens, it's going to be a glorious day.
And this last cruise, which we were supposed to go on in March, but then it got canceled because of coronavirus, which was a huge bummer. We were talking about how now that this is our third cruise with LuLaRoe, we were going to, because we usually get a balcony, and we were just going to stitch, and he was going to design it on our balcony and just like not do anything else. Because like this specific ship we were on, like normally there's the flow rider, which Aaron always is doing. It's like the wakeboarding type of thing on the back of the boat. Did you burn something, son?
Oh no.
Okay. I smell a fire. Fire back.
If it starts smoking in the background, let us know.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know.
So we were talking about doing that, but like I don't have really the only place outside the US I've traveled besides these cruises are Costa Rica, and like that was awesome and beautiful, but it wasn't like a favorite. But I will say my favorite place in the world is Hawaii, which I lived there. Okay. Which is again my fascination with that Hawaii chatelaine at the beginning. And when I lived there, I didn't cross stitch. I was not into cross. I did it when I was young, and then I didn't pick it back up all in my teenage years, all the way through probably late 20s or mid 20s. Okay. And so when I lived in Hawaii, I wasn't cross stitching, which is probably good because I feel like I would have sweat and ruined something. It's too humid there for me to stitch. So I don't know. But we love motorhoming, and I'll bring it every time. So yes, I'll bring my stitching there.
That's our plan, is to get a motorhome once my husband retires and
so awesome.
Really? It's so awesome, man.
That's gonna be awesome.
So fun.
So what can you not do without for stitching and for designing? Like, what is your like must to have kind of thing?
I have to have Q snaps because I have to have my fabric as tight as humanly possible. And then of course at either one of my stands. Yeah. I just have to have. Those are my like have to haves. There's another list of secondary have to haves, but that is my have to have. I've got to have a Q snap.
Q snaps.
Q snaps. So
for designing, really the cross stitch program is the only thing that's necessary. I could graph it on paper like they
That's
used
not
to,
happening.
but I mean, my Cintiq or my iPad Pro is the thing that I cannot live without
Yeah. That's
as far as like art goes. So yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
And his pencil.
Yeah, the
Your
pencil.
pencil.
Yeah,
your
you can't
iPad
do any of
pencil.
it.
Oh, the
This-
pencil's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So without this, none of it's possible.
Yep.
So this is the must-have.
That'd be amazing if I just took it and just snapped it and chucked it.
That would be typical.
That was
Wouldn't be
and a
surprised.
very expensive replacement.
Yeah, it is.
That is
It's not
hilarious.
So this is going to be a fun one. So how do you decide on what you're going to work on next?
Aaron decides for me.
No, I don't.
No,
That's such a
no,
lie.
he
It's gonna be a
does.
fun
He
one.
says that's a lie.
That's such a lie.
So back in the days when I didn't have to cross stitch on purpose, like forcefully,
Oh, your life
would
is so hard.
I would choose like whatever was calling to me. So like a couple months ago, I really wanted to work on Nora Corbett's Andromeda. And I had the fabric. I was so ready to go. But then Hurricane Houston hit. And he's like, you have to cross stitch this now.
It's more like a gentle breeze.
No.
It's not a hurricane.
Gentle breeze. He seems so nice, man. No. He's a freaking hurricane. But no, so right now I would like to be stitching something else, but like I have to get 2 models done for a magazine. And again, he's like, well, don't stitch it then. Like when I start, doing my, I don't want to stitch this. Because I'm not feeling it. I have to feel cross-stitching a piece. And while it's cute and beautiful, I'm not feeling stitching that right now, but he'll just be like, that's fine. We'll just get a model stitcher to do it. Translation, we'll get somebody else to do it. So your free time cross-stitching is actually costing money because we have to pay somebody else to stitch it then.
Yeah, but
So it makes it so hard.
so that's where we fight. So now we're in a fight.
Fight!
That's why I was saying. That's why I was saying this was going to be a fun one.
Yes!
But I get it as a stitcher though, is because
Yeah.
like for me, I have a lot of whips and
Yeah.
a lot of people answer it as whatever calls to me. Basically, is what I work on next. So as a stitcher,
Yep.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
understand the part where you do have to get your models and stuff done too. So
Yeah. And it's hard for me too because I feel like I have a lot of whips and there's like 8 or 9 and it drives me insane because when something calls to me, I stitch on it till it's done.
oh yeah.
And for me to stop a project, like I lose all drive to stitch it anymore. So like I've been working on this, is it Lenart or Lenarte? Do you know?
I always say Lenarte, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know,
Sounds
I don't know
I
how
don't
to
even know.
pronounce it.
So
I'm not fancy.
Yeah, it sounds fancy. Lenarte.
So I have been I've had her forever and finally she called to me and I was so excited to start her and I literally couldn't stop thinking about her all day and I would do our work stuff and just so I could hurry up and stitch on her. And then I had to put her down to stitch a model and I've zero desire to pick her up. And it just it kills.
Too.
Oh my gosh, she's
yeah,
so
it looks
awesome.
really good.
But it kills all of my drive. So, and again, it's not like I hate stitching. Like the
My
models I'm
stuff.
doing right now are awesome.
Yeah.
They're not calling to me specifically right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bummer.
Which is a struggle. And that's why I tell her, stitch what you want. I don't want her to feel like,
But he doesn't really mean
bogged
stitch
down.
what you want. He means
I don't really mean
stitch
that.
my
but-
models and then if you happen to
He's
have
trying to
time.
be supportive, but also trying to run the business at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and later on when she throws it in my face, I can be like, dude, I told you to do what you want. So I have a little backup. I have something to fall back on when she tries to blame it all on me, like right now. I told you to do what you want.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
All right. Well, we'll
That's
move on.
awesome.
Yeah, we'll move on to the last question. You guys are awesome. This is
Okay.
so entertaining for everybody.
That's awesome.
So the last question is, what's the best thing that has happened to you so far this year? The best thing.
Waking up to this every morning.
That is a lie.
Aw.
What a freaking sham. Fake news. Fake news. There's kind of different. So for me, like we went to Nashville Market,
Okay,
you know,
yep.
and
He said we, it was him.
it just that I think that kind of just helped our business tremendously. So there's kind of the business end, and then, you know, just in general.
He was happy
Kinda
to be
thing.
away from me to get
I
a break.
was. That was a nice couple days. So that's probably the best thing that happened to me this year.
relaxing
Market is pretty
To get away
huge,
from
so
her.
yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's the first thing that comes to mind for me, because, you know, it's your little baby, I guess, the business. So like seeing people stitch our stuff for me is amazing. So that's what I'll say. Like the best thing for me is watching people stitch our designs. I love it. I honestly love it. Besides waking up to her, like, you know, stock answer.
There you go. You
talk answer. Oh, we love.
kidding.
We're in love.
We're in love.
I was thinking about this because nothing really has popped out in my mind. It's just, you know, and Aaron brings up a good point. He's very positive. He's like, when we were talking about it before, he's like, every day is a good day. Just nothing, you know. Yeah. But I was thinking, and this is going to be, it's okay.
What is it, cheesy?
No, it's not cheesy, but it's like, really? Like having school called off because of coronavirus. Now, yes, my kids drive me insane. They're children. They drive you insane.
I get it.
But I know, right? I like just having them home. And yeah, they drive you insane. And by the end of the day, you're ready for them to go to bed. And I am not the mom that is like, oh, first day of school is so hard for me, I'm going to miss him. No, take my kids, please. But it sounds so dumb, but and it's not like we have a ton of time to all hang out together. And that's why I love it, because I work so much with our other business too, that I feel like I'm not with them a whole lot. I don't like being a working mom. I do like that I like to be home, though. My job is at home.
Yeah.
But even though I'm with them, I'm not present a whole lot, like mind-wise. But I really, really, when they, you know, called off school for a month, I was like, I loved it. And then I was praying that they continued and just called off the rest of school, and they did, and I loved it. And so that I don't know.
No, because I actually feel the same way. My daughter goes to college, and when they canceled that, she's home. She's 21.
Yeah.
She's home, and like she's my mini me. She goes to Goodwill with me. She goes everywhere with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm right there with you. It's not dumb at all. The canceling of schools, it sucks because I have to homeschool my freshmen. That's not fun. That is not fun at all. Freshmen in high school, no. But yeah,
that would be hard.
The family time has been amazing. I've been home from work, you know, because I usually work on the weekends, and just being home and being able to go hiking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The virus sucked for a lot of people, and it's horrible, but it also, I think, it brought me together with a lot of stitching community and brought the families together. So your answer was not dumb at all. It was,
you know, it's a terrible tragedy too, but it's kind of what you make it, I guess. Right. Like you said, you can look at it as it's miserable, but if you make it good, like obviously you have to stay home, but if you make it enjoyable with your family and do
some
fun
people
things
can't, who actually got like legit sick.
Well, that's
or
what I'm
died.
saying.
Yeah,
you got it, obviously. That's what I'm saying. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
And some people go out when they're when they're told not to, whatever. But anyway, but if essentially if you make it what you want. Yeah. So
I really enjoyed having my kids home. I love, you know, they're not noxious, they're kids, but they're everything. They're my everything. They're my own little world. So
what's the best thing that happened to you in 2020, Becca?
In 2020? I think the same thing. Just to be home. I've been home for 3 months on every weekend. And
that's awesome.
Just being able to be home and spending time with them, because, you know, my husband works during the week, and of course he's home on the weekends. So, and I work on the weekends. So I think it's been a blessing to be able to be home. I will be going back to work soon. So
that's what I was going to ask. When do you know when they're going to start opening the stores up, or? They
pretty much have already started opening the stores up here. The store that I'm in opened to the public today. So I should be going back soon, I would think, because I don't work for that store. I work inside that store to help them.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so things are opening up. Yeah, so we'll have to get back to working and missing the
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. It's such a bummer.
Yeah, it is. But I think the 3 months has been absolutely amazing. So I think nobody's ever asked me these questions. That's so funny you're asking me.
I wanted to do it on every question, but I was trying to spare you.
No, I wasn't prepared. But yeah, I think that was the best thing. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But thank you guys so much for taking the
Yeah.
time today. It's been very entertaining and a lot of fun, and people are gonna love this. It was,
Well, hopefully it's
and I'm
not too
excited
much.
that I got to talk to you guys. That's the cool thing. So
You're amazing.
Thank
It's pretty
you.
cool.
We're excited we got to talk to you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah. So we'll say bye to Flosstube, and we'll see everybody later.
Bye, Flosstube.
Toodaloo.